My name is Tina and I am a tutor here at the San Juan College Student Success Center. Today we are going to be talking about grammatical voice. In writing, voice describes the relationship between the subject, the object, and the action expressed by the verb in a sentence. We will talk more about this definition in a minute, but for now, all you really need to know is that there are two kinds of grammatical voice. There's active voice and passive voice. Here you can see the two types of voice. Active is more clear and concise. It emphasizes the subject, and it's more easy to understand. Whereas passive voice, on the other hand, is more wordy. It emphasizes the object rather than the subject, and it's just less intuitive. Active voice is a more direct way of writing or of speaking. It puts emphasis on the subject of the sentence, which usually takes the following form: the subject, followed by a verb, then the direct object. So if we want to put emphasis on the subject rather than the object, we relate everything that happens in the sentence to the subject. For example, we might say, the cat ate her food, my brother passed his test, or the instructor gave clear directions. That the emphasis is on the subject, cat, brother, or instructor, and not on the object, food, test, or instructions. The subject directly caused the action stated by the verb in the sentence. In fact, we could eliminate the object entirely and still be speaking in active voice if we say something like, the duck swims, I jumped, or grandmother sang. In writing, we want to use an active voice whenever possible because it is more direct, more clear, and more concise. And when we use active voice, the reader can easily see who did what without any confusion. On the other hand, if we use passive voice, the subject receives the action instead of the other way around. In passive voice, the verb is split into a be verb and a participle. Sentences like this usually have the following format: direct object, be verb, participle, by, subject. So here are the previous example sentences in passive voice. The food was eaten by the cat. The test was passed by my brother. And clear directions were given by the instructor. This style of writing is, as you can see, less direct, more wordy, and not as clear as it could be. Passive voice also uses an awkward structure. The verb changes its tense, becomes a be verb, and a participle has to be used as well. In our examples above here, we note that the verb ate became the be verb, and participle was eaten. Likewise, passed became was passed, and gave became were given. These types of changes are easy to write incorrectly, which can actually decrease your grade. I'm sorry, I should say that in active voice. Your grade can decrease when you use passive voice. Not only that, but passive voice can even have real-world political consequences. To see how, consider the following. If we say the young woman was assaulted by 5 men in passive voice, rather than using active voice to say 5 men assaulted the young woman, we inadvertently place blame on the victim rather than on her assailants, where it truly belongs. Of course, there are certain circumstances in which passive voice is more appropriate. For example, if the writer wants to put emphasis on the object rather than the subject, or if the subject is unknown, unimportant, or obvious. A good example of this would be scientific research papers. They are usually written in passive voice because the author presumably has already done the experiment. He or she does not need to be identified because they are the author and because they are speaking in a non-biased and clinical way. For example, A scientist might say 50 milliliters of concentrated sulfuric acid was carefully poured onto the marble tile. So unless you're writing a scientific paper, try to use active voice whenever possible. Thank you for watching our video. To learn more, you can go to the San Juan College Tutoring Center website at www.sanjuancollege.edu/tutoring center. You can also like our Facebook page at facebook.com/tutoringsjc, or you can just visit the San Juan College website at sanjuancollege.edu. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.